back again with a brand new video, and this time we're going to be making a part 2 about the PvP game mode that has of course been declining ever since its initial release date like 3 weeks ago or so. As you guys all know, this PvP game mode was newly released into the game mode after a lot of beta testing and is immediately despised and just downright hated by everyone around the corner of Roblox. It's no surprise why, and that's mainly because this game mode is just fucking atrocious. Now, the regular PvP game mode is fun, it's engaging, whatever, not really too bad. However, adding in a competitive aspect to it really just makes it to where it's an infuriatingly grueling process to even progress through it. Because as you all know, there can only be one winner. And no matter how hard you try to win, if you lose, you will lose like 40 trophies, which is crazy, okay? And that's just for barely losing to just losing by a long shot, okay? And for the person who wins, you probably gain around 20 to 30 trophies. I once got 42 and that was actually pretty cool. But generally, this game mode is just incredibly terrible, especially how there's no one even playing this anymore from just how terrible this game mode is, especially the competitive aspect to it. So just like all of you guys, I am stuck in Lieutenant 1, I believe, and I am unable to proceed because no one's playing, so I can't fight anyone to gain any trophies, and of course cannot complete the pass, which is on a time limit, which just is a fuck you to me, to Paradox. Fuck you. Something that I do predict is that Paradox is 100% going to make huge changes to this game mode very soon. Probably when that new turret skin is going to be released, because technically this game mode is indirectly killing the game. Ever since this game mode got released to TDS and this whole chaos started around this game, the average player amount dropped from 13 to 18,000 players a day to more or less 8,000 to 10,000 players a day, which is crazy, okay? So I feel like they are definitely gonna try to make huge changes to this game mode very quickly early on. And I have some changes that I already have somewhat explained in the previous video, where no matter who loses or wins, everyone gets trophies in the end. Obviously, it depends on what round, aka what wave the game ends. So as an example, if the game ends at around, I don't know, wave 10 to 15, the player who loses will lose like, I don't know, 20 to 15 trophies because they didn't play that relatively well and they just got absolutely spat on. However, the person who won gets around 20 to 30 trophies because it was a relatively quick game. However, if the game manages goes on beyond 20 waves, like for an example 20 to around 30 plus waves, the trophies amount is increased to around 30 if you lose or less, and for the person who wins, they gain much more than 30, like around 40 to 50, because it was a hell of a long game and they deserve a huge reward for not only basically putting up a hell of a fight, but for winning in the end. And that was my entire suggestion that I suggested, and you guys really seem to approve and or agree with that, which I didn't really get too surprised on because my big brain skills is all over the place. But this suggestion is something that I really do think they should test, because this will literally make this game mode very much more appealing to everyone. Even if you lose and you made it to a very high wave like wave 27 with your opponent, it should still be nice that you get some trophies. Not as many as the person who won, but definitely some trophies because you put up a hell of a fight just to get there. But the fact that you lose trophies at a high round, even at a low wave, is crazy, okay? Something else that Paradox definitely does have to consider, or at least have in the back of their mind, is the player count. This has an insanely low player count, which of course makes it a total disadvantage for everyone in pretty much every league, especially the higher leagues, because as you guys know, win trading got patched. I sadly did not really do it. So win trading got patched. So if you played with someone already in the similar league, you are no longer able to play with them ever again, at least to my knowledge. Which makes it to where in the higher leagues, when you're trying to find anyone to play against, which with the very small amount of players is nearly impossible. And with the addition of people you've already played against, you are unable to play against ever again. This makes it to where you cannot at all proceed in the higher ranked matches because, I mean, with the low player count, no one's playing, and with the people that are playing that you already played against, you cannot play against ever again, making it to where this season pass thing is completely completely incompletable. I would not put it past Paradox if they just made this entire thing a game pass where you can just pay for everything for 10 bucks. I would buy that thing in a heartbeat, so I never have to play this piece of shit game mode ever again. However, something I don't think that they are aware of is the player count. As you guys already heard many times, since I cannot find any games, I cannot progress through the pass whatsoever, which leads me to wonder, how exactly do they fix that? What if no one just plays this game mode at all? Like, never again? Do you just not have a chance at all at completing the season pass? If so, that's completely bullshit. I mean, sure, it's kind of like technically your fault because, I mean, I don't know, you didn't take 3 months or something like that to take the time to essentially grind this game mode. Would it even be possible to even progress through the season pass when there's no players whatsoever? And even especially in the case of what happens if you're super close but you still don't manage to actually get everything because, well, since there's no one playing, you can't progress through it at all. Now, I was thinking about, I don't know, having Paradox add in bots or something like that, but this would just not really help whatsoever because, I mean, like, bots is just completely terrible, and how would that even work at all? So the player count is something that they definitely also have to actually take into consideration, because if no one's playing, how can anyone complete the season pass? There are definitely a lot of suggestions, and I know it'll take time for Paradox to choose the most appealing ones and the ones that will just generally change the game mode. But dude, I just gotta really give it to them. Like, how exactly do you save PvP when there's not really a whole amount of point to even play it? No one's playing it, you can't progress through it, indirectly killing the game altogether in the end.